In the next several minutes, I'm going to introduce to you why we need decentralized social media. Let's get into it. So let's talk about what social media actually is from first principles. We have a user account. This is my account right here, and I log into Instagram, and Instagram servers, they authorize me to log in. Once I put in my username and password, that server allows me to get in. And then once I'm in, the Instagram gives me access to my posts, right? So I have all my posts here. I have people who are commenting and liking on these posts. So this is user-generated content. I've also liked and commented on many other people's posts. I have some direct messages as well. And one of the most important things, though, is that I have a social graph. This is the people who are following me and the people who I follow. So this is social media in a nutshell. You have a profile and you have user-generated content on that profile, and one of the big pieces of that user-generated content is your social graph. So let's talk about currently with Web2. All of this is stored on the company's centralized server. And this is a problem for a variety of reasons. So I'm going to tell you about the problems with Web2 and talk about how Web3 might fix this. So the first problem with Web2 is that they have an authoritarian control over who has access to their platform. Instagram has hundreds of millions, maybe billion users. And in order for me to interact with these users, I'm going to have to sign up to Instagram and use this service. The problem becomes if I start posting things that Instagram doesn't want me to post that does not abide by their terms of service. They can decide to censor me, that would be remove some of my posts, or they can decide to not let me back into the platform at all, and they can just outright ban me. This would make it so that I don't have access to any of the posts or am able to contact any of my social graph, the people who I'm connected with. And so this is a problem when it comes to free speech. It's an infringement on free speech. The fact that these social media companies get to make decisions about who gets to stay on their platform and who does not, and what content gets surfaced with these social media algorithms that they use. Because if we go to home right here, they are showing me a list of a feed that an algorithm is generating on the back end. And we don't know exactly how this algorithm functions. It's proprietary to Instagram, and Instagram fully controls the user experience for me. Anything that I see on this feed, Instagram is deliberately serving me, whether it's an ad, whether it's people that I follow, or whether it's just a discovery algorithm. And they also control my data. So this is putting a lot of control into a centralized company who can censor people and basically take away their free speech digitally. Now, you may have heard this part before. If you don't pay for a product, you are the product. This means that the reason Instagram is free for me to use is because Instagram is mining my data and selling it to advertisers. They're welcoming us onto the platform. And then they mine our data and they sell that to advertisers, and then the advertisers target us with ads in the actual Instagram interface. And this is what makes up a lot of the revenue for these social media companies like Facebook and Instagram and Twitter, et cetera, et cetera. This is exploitative, and if I don't want to abide by those terms of service, then I can leave the platform, certainly, and even delete my account. But the problem, again, is that these companies have large network effects. There are hundreds of millions and billions of people on these platforms, and there are very little competitors to unseat the incumbents of Facebook and Instagram and Twitter. It would be very hard as a startup social media company to try to attract 1 billion users to that platform because Facebook already has such a head start on you. The problem is that my data is locked inside of Instagram and that I cannot take it elsewhere. So Instagram and other Web2 social medias enjoy this monopoly-like effect. It creates this moat and this large switching cost for me if I wanted to change platforms. Let's say I go to that startup social media platform. Well, then I'm going to have to start from scratch, building back up my content like posts, and then also building back up my social graph all from scratch. And this is bad for creators, people who are trying to monetize their content and monetize attention somehow on these social media platforms. Take YouTube, for example. As you continue to get more and more traffic, YouTube gives you a cut of the ad revenue that they are generating on your videos. But we don't know what portion of the cut we get. They might only be giving 5%, 20%. These are just guesses of mine. But again, if you don't like those terms of service, then you can leave, but it's not really a viable option for many people, especially content creators who are trying to access hundreds of millions, if not billions of people. So that's an overview of what social media is and what the current problems are with Web2 social media. In the next video, we're going to talk about how Web3 social media can change all this. Thank you.